Welcome back to In Ohio Country Today. With me is Anita Green with the Auglaize County FSA. Anita is the county director here, but we want to talk about what's new. Well, at the FSA office, there's always some changes, and there's always new things, as well as what's going on with the old stuff. You want to talk about some of the changes that we see at the FSA office this year?
Sure, Alan. It has been a year of change with the USDA Farm Service Agency. Part of that started out with Congress and sequestration, looking at USDA delivery of farm programs and the appropriations caused us to slow down a little bit and have to wait as that was evaluated. There will be a cut in direct payments under the direct and counter-cyclical program, and those final payments made here in October. In addition, they also looked at the Conservation Reserve Program and delayed the sign-up for our continuous program, but we're up and going, Alan, so an exciting time right now as we start to move very fast and accelerated through some programs to get them all in for 2013.
Well, you mentioned, the continuous CRP. You might want to just touch a little bit on what that means, what continuous CRP is, and what type of programs we have in there, because there are a lot of different types.
Yeah. When we talk about Conservation Reserve Program, or CRP, we actually have a general sign-up that is a national sign-up that started the middle of May, May 20th to be exact, and will run here through June 14th. Very interesting that this is the first national sign-up in over a year, and importantly that producers, we have 55,000 acres expiring in Ohio right now, and many of those acres are under general CRP sign-up, whole farms, whole fields, not our highly sensitive areas like filter strips or waterways, but we're looking at mostly wildlife habitat, cool season, warm season grass habitats. So those folks that are expiring, plus anyone that's looking at environmentally areas, are enrolling or looking at that possibility. Rental rates have been adjusted to reflect the next 10 years of just our inflationary indexes and cash rent values. So that sign up here is ongoing. Producers and landowners that are interested can stop in at their local FSA office. We run through scenarios. What are they looking at? What's going to work with their farm operation? Are they looking for wildlife, water quality, highly erodible land? What's the initiatives that we're looking at? Under a general CRP, we are targeted here in Ohio with the Lake Erie Sediment Basin as a national priority area. So that scores as well as we compete across the nation. So again, that's general CRP. Delayed was our continuous Conservation Reserve Program, or our filter strips, waterways, upland bird habitat, perimeters around the fields, tree shelter belts or windbreaks, wetland complexes. All of those things were delayed as we looked at funding. And right now we're quite busy with folks. Again, some of those are expiring this September, so they want to re-enroll those waterways, some new construction. We had a very wet spring, and so we got some erosion issues and again wildlife issues and benefits that can be gained. So that sign up is continuous. Folks have until the end of October or the end of September with those practices starting no later than October 1. And for many it'll start the month after approval. So, and one more is what we call SAFE, and that is a state wildlife habitat area, and it sort of competes with the general sign up, except that it's just for certain counties within west central Ohio. It's a pheasant habitat to reinstate pheasants within the area, and again that sign up is continuous, and many of the counties in west central Ohio are approved for that as well. So.
Well, we not only does the FSA office help administer the CRP, do the sign-up and things like that. What are some of the other things that are going to be going on from farmer sign-ups and crop certifications and so on and so forth?
Well, Alan, I talked about sequestration as a delay. One of the other delays that we saw within the Farm Service Agency was MIDAS. MIDAS is a modernization initiative for the delivery of agricultural systems. It's basically taking our farm records, every farm landowner, farm operator in the state, and tying them with their GIS imagery or their farm record. Those are integrated now, so there's no separating those two records. If you adjust one, if you change a field because you build a machine shed out there, or you put in an animal waste facility, you sold off a lot for someone to move out into the country, we change that record. It changes our GIS imagery and it changes the farm record. Those things we're working through. It caused us to delay the farm signups. We have the direct counter-cyclical program, which will run through August the 2nd. We just wrapped up an acre here this last Monday, June 3rd. So some of those things are causing us to work through with appointment process. Unfortunately, what's happened is that's thrown us into crop acreage reporting. So it's a busy time for farmers. So some of them are enrolled in the program, some aren't. Some have to report their acres. So what we're asking is if you need your acreage reports and you need to file that, you need to give us a phone call in your USDA service center, no matter where you're at and what county you're farming in. A lot of those counties can send you out maps by email or by mail so that you have a chance to mark them and get them all ready and in place. In addition, you're going to want to verify that you did enroll in those annual farm programs. So it's a lot to remember in a short period of time. Again, we're trying to make certain no one falls through the cracks, and just be patient with us as we get through our new computer systems and platforms.
Well, just when we were talking about signups and so on and so forth, one thing that producers really, some of the dates have changed for your wheat certification and so on and so forth.
And a good point taken, Alan. With acreage reporting, we do have new dates this year. We have always reported wheat in Ohio on June 30th. That changed a year ago to December 15th. And as a result of that acreage reporting date, some folks missed it. What we want you to know is that you can still late file those wheat acreage reports with no fees for this year. Those are waived. So that's important. And then our new dates, some of those stay the same. July 15th is the deadline for all spring seeded crops, which includes soybeans and corn, as well as our fruits and vegetables or specialty crops. The Conservation Reserve Program acres did change to August 15th in Ohio, so that's a backup date. We don't really want everyone to spread that out so much, but I think this year we're actually going to be grateful that that's the case because we got a lot of folks to get in the door.
Anita, something that's on everybody's mind, because it gets a lot of press, is the watersheds. We have three very distinct ones here in Ohio, and you want to talk about how FSA and soil conservation is working very diligently to preserve our natural resources here in Ohio.
Okay, and we do. We have several partnerships when we talk about water quality issues. We have the state of Ohio, which includes the soil and water conservation districts. We also have USDA, which includes our sister agency, which is Natural Resource Conservation Service, as well as the Farm Service Agency. There's focuses both on animal livestock when we look at manure treatment and manure management within those watersheds, as well as herbicide applications and surface runoff when we look at water quality issues. So at this point, obviously in West Central Ohio, we have the Grand Lake St. Mary's, which is kind of a local resource concern. It certainly has its tourism and its economic value to the counties that are serviced in those areas. And then from a national scope, we're looking at two watersheds within West Central Ohio, and that includes obviously the Lake Erie sediment basin and all the tributaries that run into the Lake Erie. And in addition, then we have Scioto, and we have a Scioto crepe area, and the Scioto River actually affects the Mississippi and into the Ohio River. So we have some real dynamics when we look at water quality in this area. So those agencies pull together, we identify resource concerns, and being that West Central Ohio, especially when you look at Dark, Auglaize, Mercer, Shelby counties, even up into Putnam, Van Wert, we have some concentrated livestock areas. Those livestock producers have always applied good stewardship, but it has brought an awareness that they need to make that very public and very transparent. So as a result of that, they're under nutrient management plans, which the soil and water districts are working at. There's cost share incentives, be it under the Environmental Quality Incentive Program or EQIP program through USDA, CRP programs through USDA, and grant money as well. So a lot of initiatives there, a lot of money being pulled in, and again, for public benefit, because we all benefit from clean water. We all enjoy recreating in water areas, so a neat partnership there with agriculture.
You know, Anita, when we're talking about that, there is a lot of research being done right now. Ohio State's doing a lot of exhaustive studies as to what is some of the best practices for agriculture. Although the problem is not all agriculture. Agriculture has always done a very good job of being good stewards of the land. But you want to talk a little bit about some of those practices that agriculture is doing to not only from a manure management standpoint, but there are other things that they're doing, even if you are a farmer and not actively raising livestock.
And certainly, Alan, and what we're seeing as some practice initiatives include cover crops through our winter. We have some regulation in place at a state level that prohibits applying manure onto frozen ground or after certain rains and through the winter months. So there's a smart approach to what's the responsibility of our farm producers. Our farm producers are very innovative. We look at tile systems that can be blocked and flows that can be changed, which not only help their production, obviously manure management when we look at the rate, soil testing, grid sampling to make certain that the nutrient levels, do we need to apply nutrients here? There's also under the EQIP program to transport manure out of the watershed areas to where they're more needed in other counties farther away. And so there's a lot of initiatives, a lot of partnering, and again, the agricultural producers in West Central Ohio make their livelihood, and they live in those neighborhoods. So they have a great desire and a great commitment to the water quality, to the aesthetics, and to their long-term productivity. And they don't want to overproduce nutrients on the land anymore. They want to get the most out of the bang for the buck. So.
You know, it's interesting. You know, there's also been a little bit of research, well, a lot of research being done right now for something as simple, not only as a cover crop, but using gypsum to maintain and bind the fertilizer and phosphorus and stuff together.
And the phosphorus testing, it's been real unique because there's different types of phosphorus, the biodegradable or the soluble phosphorus and the non-soluble. So as that testing's being done, I think farmers are learning, certainly our research, and we're great with our land grant universities, Ohio State, and all the research that gets done, because in the end, it only makes agriculture better. And we're in business forever. So everyone's going to keep eating, and it's just important that we do it the best we can. For more information related to USDA programs, our viewers can go online to www.usda.gov, which would list all the agencies and related programs. In addition, FSA's website would be www.fsa.usda.gov, and that allows you to be specific if you're looking for news releases or specific program topics such as conservation or farm programs or commodity loan programs. One other thing, Alan, is that our newsletters are done electronically. So we use a Gov delivery system, so any landowner, anyone interested, be it a lender, a ag business producer, common public interest, can subscribe and obtain USDA newsletters, Farm Service Agency newsletters by whatever county they wish, simply by providing their email to their local Farm Service Agency office. And those electronic newsletters are put out sometimes weekly. They're bulletins that can update you to deadlines, as well as announce new programs, and certainly as we go into the new Farm Bill, keep them updated as to what will be happening with USDA.
Anita, as always, thanks for being with us today.
It's been a pleasure, Alan, and thank you for having me.
And we'll be back with more in Ohio Country Today right after this.